It is the second date update, and like I said before, John trying to see Nicole again, and I love the fact that he just listed the date off like in bullet point form. I mean, it was a perfect recap.
Yeah, they both live in Valrico, so they just went to go grab some sushi, so that kind of worked out. But, I mean, I asked the questions, hey, were you watching TV behind her? Did you run into anybody? Were you on your phone? Did you pay attention to her? Did she feel important? And he's like, yeah, I did all those things. So.
Yeah. All right, commercial-free New Country 99.5 QIK. Kevin has done what he does, and that is get a hold of Nicole, and he's got her on hold right now. I want to bring her back on with us. She's agreed to talk to us. Nicole?
Yes.
Hey, Nicole, I know this is weird. Thank you for coming on with us. You just heard us recap your guys' date, and the bottom line is John wants to see you again. He hasn't figured out why. He hasn't heard from you. What's going on?
Yeah, you guys, this dude is not for me. I mean, sorry, but he just talks about crazy stuff on the date.
What kind of crazy stuff?
Well, he talks about like going to therapy. And I'm not talking about premarital therapy. He wants to go to pre-dating therapy.
Wait, he wants you to go to therapy with him?
Yeah. And he wants us to go together to a counselor to have pre-dating therapy. And he thinks it's a good idea.
Is that a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
I did not know that was a thing either.
I never heard of it.
So how did he present this to you?
Well, he says, he said he would like to see me again and that he thinks it would be a good idea if we went to pre-dating therapy. And I really thought he was joking, you guys, but he's dead serious. And he doesn't think it's a waste of time. He thinks it's very important for us to go to see if we should be dating one another.
What did you say? How did you respond to that?
I was just like, I'm shocked because I've never heard of this. It's totally not for me. And that's why I've never contacted him. That's why I haven't responded back.
Yeah, because he might be trying to sign you up for therapy.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just a little too much for me, and I'm going to pass on this. I'm not into pre-dating therapy.
Maybe it's too much for you. Come on.
Okay, well, I can see how that could be a lot, and I have never heard that before. But there's got to be an explanation for this. We do have John on the phone with us, Nicole. Let's just bring him on, see what he has to say about this. John, you there?
Yeah, so just for clarification, I didn't mean right away, like date number 2, we go to couples therapy. It's more like look, my sister told me about it, and she said it was a great idea to just kind of vet the person that you're planning on being in a relationship with. So it's more like down the road, but it does sound like a really good idea.
John, that's why people hang out, I mean, that's the point of dating. You hang out, get to know each other, talk about stuff. I mean, that's what it is. You don't need to go to a counselor to do this.
I think that sometimes, though, if you get a professional involved who can kind of see through different layers a lot quicker, you can kind of get an opinion from somebody else, like a third party, which is also beneficial to tell you if they think that you're compatible. And that helps. Sometimes, I mean, you're gorgeous. So maybe, I'm looking at you and I don't internalize, maybe we're not for each other, but you're just so pretty that I think we are. So it's sometimes good to get someone else involved in a situation is what I mean.
I understand like premarital counseling and like when there's problems, but we just met. Like, what's the point?
Now, John, when you said you're not talking about right away, you're talking about down the line, like how far down the line are you talking about going to see a counselor?
Like a couple months, like 2 months,
Okay.
When the relationship kind of gets a little more serious. And if we cross that road, I think it's smart, to not waste my time or your time. And, honestly, I don't want to get hurt myself. So I think it's a smart way to go about it.
Have you ever pitched this to anybody else?
No, not yet. But honestly, like I said, I think that this is a good way to go. It's a tactful way to go about it. I'm not, 18 years old, so I don't want to waste any more time.
Do you go to therapy on your own? Just curious. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
Yes, I do. And I think everybody should go to therapy at some point in their life.
I actually agree with that. But
so he's just looking to gain trust maybe and learn how to communicate. So you're trying to better the relationship before it even starts?
I'm trying to see if it's worth it from the beginning.
Oh.
So I just think it's a waste of time to have these 2-year-long relationship with somebody, and then you find out at the end, I didn't even like you from the beginning because I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Let's get a therapist involved here where you could be a little honest in the situation. That's my method.
John, don't you know at the beginning if you like somebody or not? Why you got to have the therapist tell you?
sometimes the girls don't know, and that's the real problem, I would say. But yeah, I don't have a problem communicating personally.
Well, I know right now I do not want to go out with you again because this pre-dating counseling isn't going to work for me.
And that's fine. We didn't waste any time together, and we learned right away. And I don't need a therapist to tell me that. Obviously, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've agreed on something. You guys are not going back out.
This is how adults should date.
Okay. All right. Well, on the radio, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, you've made it pretty clear about where you stand. John, we know where you stand, and it's not going to be with each other. And I'm sorry about that, but we wish you both luck. And John, hopefully your strategy or method of dating works out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care.
I'm Googling this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Love therapy defines a person's tendencies in a relationship before developing a practical strategy for advancement.
But is it together or is it for somebody just by themselves? Like, hey, here's what you should be looking for. Like, I could see him going to a therapist and the therapist saying, this is the things that you should be looking for in a mate. But you can't expect a girl you just met and a couple months into hanging out, you go, hey, let's go see this therapist, make sure that we're compatible.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not...
All right, we're going to see where you're at on this. I can't wait to see what you have to say. 800-992-1099, 800-992-1099.